Welcome, Cancer. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your July new moon reading. The new moon in Cancer will be affecting your first house for you Cancer risers. And this area of life is around your perspective, your mundane approach, your focus in daily life is going to be impacted by this Cancer new moon, which is encouraging us to feel our feelings about the way in which we are now understanding our deep soul alignment with our purpose. I want to thank all of you for liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and donating to my channel. I appreciate all the support. I feel it and feel very cared for. So thank you. Let's get started, Cancer, with your overall energy for early July. The time frame for this reading is the first 2 weeks of July, and with the Three of Swords, we are continuing to do our own deep healing. And this card is really focusing on not just looking at those heartbreaks, those betrayals, or the ways in which we have been disappointed in our lives, particularly in our relationships, but it's also helping us to understand the ways in which we have learned lessons from those disappointments, those failures, and how we've learned to also excise what is no longer necessary, what lessons we've learned, cutting those things out, releasing those things that don't serve us, and using the clarity of that understanding to release and let go of unwanted behaviors, actions, or people. The first row shows early July, or the preparation for the month of July here, with the Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. So I see you being very practical in your attempt to understand more deeply those unhappy experiences that you've had, that you're really looking to understand and clarify for yourself. And part of what you're clarifying, of course, is your role, your responsibility in these disappointments. You're opened up to proceeding and doing things differently. You're open up to planning things, in other words, executing a new strategy towards the things that you would like to accomplish. In this case, it is towards the things that you are letting go of. The Eight of Cups is indicating your sense of having grown past the current struggles, the emotional entanglements, relationships that you have been engaged in for a very long time. This also indicates your great investment in those, so that you are feeling and recognizing that your need for meaningful experience can be best had away from the familiar tribe or circumstance that you've been in. Part of this desire to move on to new challenges, new experiences, is part of your final release of a journey that you've been on for a long time, and one in which this ability to identify new goals, new environments that may be more positively supportive of you is part of letting go and releasing something that has existed in your life for a very long time. This is a portal to new opportunities as much as it is the death of something that is done, that is over with, that no longer serves you. Towards the very beginning of July, we have the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and the Five of Wands. you're processing a lot of pain. You're processing a lot of suffering at this time. And this healing has been going on for you for a long time. This is feeling like years of an accumulation of some suffering, pain, and leave taking, so that there is the experience of loss, of grieving, of even sustaining damages, recognizing errors or mistakes that you have made, or attacks, damage that you have sustained as a result of this period of loss and hurt for you. Part of that is a deeper acceptance that the experience of suffering that you have engaged in is not a reflection of who you are. In fact, despite the really overwhelming feelings of loss you may be experiencing, you are continuing to explore the impact of these emotions, feelings, these relationships on your life. And you're actually agreeing to continue to engage, to continue to negotiate these relationships in a way that assumes that there is no clear end product of these ongoing negotiations to process this pain, to process this new information, and to recognize that these leave takings, these endings, this loss and grieving ends a period and journey of your life. Those of you that are remaining are agreeing to disagree in some ways, but also agreeing that a new set of skills is required by this community, this collective, this group, this family, in order to proceed forward, to learn new skills that will best suit the new environment that is a result of the endings and the releases that are occurring. Towards the middle of July, we have the Ace of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. Wow. I see this as a movement towards a new direction that embraces the considerable legacy and inheritance that you are a part of. There has been a great tradition, a great body of resources that have been accumulated through your family, through your connections, your history, that you are now recognizing can have a new life, a new direction, a new impact. As much as this is now an awareness that comes out of a long historical process, a long memory, a long tradition that is familial. It feels very familial. It may attach itself to some labor or work or effort that you are involved in, but it is part of you putting back together something that will serve you, that will be an improvement over the efforts of the past. There has, as you have created new steps, as you are creating new steps within this relevant community, within your family, within your team, you are understanding that the steps you're making, the things you're trying, are not always the best steps forward, but you're able now, empowered now, to step back, to pause this process of growth, of development, of creation, so that you can assess where you're moving, the ways you're moving, and understanding the impact of your efforts before you make them. This is part of a deeper healing for you, in which you are understanding the current efforts that you are in the process of developing against a tradition that in many ways is weighty, is considerable, and that is asking you to adjust to the new conditions that you find yourself, that you find available or useful for this project moving forward. There's new technology, there's new information, and new ideas that you can partake of that will alter the impact of this legacy that you are participating in. I'm going to clarify the Nine of Swords in the middle of this reading with the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, there are three knights here on the table: Cups, Wands, and Pentacles, indicating that you are bringing an exploratory energy to the current resources available to you, the current events that you are experiencing. You are exploring ways to expand, ways for you to personally grow, and new ways to implement your resources so that the impact of your considerable inheritance, be that cultural, spiritual, or financial, has a greater impact, a greater practical impact on the world. You want to see results come out of this effort that you're making. You want to see practical tools or resources distributed in a more equitable way, but you are very intent on exploring new ideas, and this is coming out of your recognition of new needs. Your needs have changed, as are the needs of those whom you seek to serve. I'm going to finish up this reading, Cancer, with botanical inspiration. And I have pulled the nasturtium, and the key words are victory and conquest. Lao Tzu said, "He who controls others may be powerful, but she who has mastered her himself is mightier still." Interesting. So this card is indicating, kind of confirming, that the victory you may be experiencing is very much over your own understanding of the resources that are available to you at this time. And through that victory, you are understanding the possibility of new dominion, a new area where you can be a leader or certainly a contributor to the success and the security or safety of others. I want to thank you for your time and attention, and until next time, Cancer, Namaste.